Yo, what's up guys? Luke Callahan, or the Disc Golf Kid here. Today we're going to be checking out some forehands. We're going to jump straight into it. I don't have the best forehand, so that's something I've been practicing. Here we see a nice shot from Eagle. It's a great forehand through a gap. We're going to be looking at a bunch of other pros. This is Eagle's swing. You can see his first position straight up. He still has it in both hands, and then he's pulling it back, and we have it freeze framed in every position. If you're watching this video trying to learn, don't pay any attention to anything I'm doing. Look at everything they're doing. You're going to want to pause it and look at your form, everything. So here we see Eagle. We copy and pasted Eagle's swing on the other two players, Ricky and Paul, because Eagle has one of the farthest forehands. Eagle so far, he is lower than Paul, but not Ricky. He pulls his disc back a little farther than the other two do and lower than the other two do. Ricky is also very low, but Paul is pretty high for how short he is. This is Eagle pulling through almost at a 90-degree angle. Again, his angles are copy and pasted on Ricky and Paul. So he's pulling through right next to his body. Ricky's pulling through a little like more outside of his body, not as close to his body as Eagle is. And then Paul is also coming right through his body like Eagle is. So yeah, these are some of the top forehand professionals in the world, and this is not something we're doing just because of disc golf. Me and my dad play a lot of sports, and if you want to learn anything in sports, you want to watch yourself on video and then compare it to all the top pros. So this, again, they all have pretty similar angles for the follow through. The only thing is the hand placements. Ricky and Paul are both finishing pretty high, almost look like they're about to rip a backhand. And then Ricky finishes lower than the other two. I don't know if that matters. Feel free to let me know in the comments. But that's just something I noticed. Yeah, I don't know if it helps to pull it through like that, but let me know. This is Big Germ, the same shot that we saw from Eagle at the beginning of the video. So we can see him compared to Eagle, two pretty tall dudes. This is them right next to each other. Eagle is way lower, almost leaning over his disc. Germ is a little taller, like height-wise, and he's not crouched as low as Eagle. He also brings his disc through a little lower than Eagle does, which was interesting because not many people were bringing it lower than Eagle. So that was something that was cool when we were looking at it. This is the follow-through and the spine angles of the follow-through. Again, yellow is Eagle, copy and pasted onto Big Germ. So Eagle is still way lower than Big Germ even when the follow-through is happening. Big Germ is almost standing straight up when he's following through. Please let me know if that means anything, because I'm still trying to learn. But we're going to see some of my shots coming up soon. This is my first batch trying to practice some of my form because I don't have the best forehand. I'm just trying to practice. I have a really weird form. I pull it up super high, but again, this is my first batch. So after the first batch, I went back and looked at everything that I was doing and I corrected it. So when you're practicing in a field, it's really important to know to not care where your discs go and to just groove your form, because if you're worried about where the discs are going, then that will definitely get in your head and mess you up. So again, my first batch is not looking too pretty. I'm still standing way too high. A lot of them are coming through on hyzer, but again, I'm not worried about where they're going. So batch number 2, I think that was my farthest forehand of my life. This one right here in the slow-mo. So I pulled that through way too high. I'm standing straight up and like slinging them up above my head almost when I'm pulling them through, if you look closely. And then I'm dropping it a little bit and like just noodling it through. So that's why my shots are a little inconsistent.
Back to
so I was trying to put them on a little bit of ante because I was a little worried about where they were going, but I needed to remember not to be worried about that. So this is batch 3. This should be the best batch out of them all, but you never know. So I had seen the first 2 batches, tried to correct a little bit, and I was mainly focused on I'm getting a little bit lower, because that's my main problem right now. That's very noticeable. I'm standing up way too high, and so I'm trying to get lower.
Watch that carefully.
It still just feels like I'm getting really low. If you don't get low, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you try and get low, it feels like you are, but you're really not. It felt like I was about to touch my head on my knees right there. So again, I just grabbed a bunch of discs, just throwing them out in this field. But I'm really trying to practice my form, because if you want to be a top-notch disc golf player, you need to have both shots in your bag. So this is my pullback compared to Eagle's pullback. He's so much lower and over his disc. That's what I was talking about. My disc is slinged up in the air. This is our follow-throughs. I'm standing almost straight up. Eagle is still over his disc. Our hands are pretty much in the exact same spot. I'm just standing up higher. This was just because I was so hurt from sucking at forehands. I just threw a 440-foot backhand to give me some momentum or whatever. This is Eagle to finish off the video. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want more videos like this. I love making this stuff because it helps my disc golf game. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment of a future video you want to see. Peace out.